be all else to me, save that thou art. Thou my best thought, by day or by night. Waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. Be thou my wisdom, and thou my true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou my great Father, I thy true Son. Thou in me dwelling, and I with thee one. High King of heaven, my victory won, may I reach heaven's joys, O bright heaven's sun. Heart of my own heart, whatever befall, still be my vision, O ruler of all.
Great is your faithfulness, O God. Good morning, church. Thank you all for being here. We're grateful to welcome you to this place. Thank you for braving the weather and bringing kids and all the rest of that as we have this service this morning. We started doing this a while ago, kind of instead of having a separate day, a separate night, we just make this a part of our worship service. And it's really fun to be able to turn some of worship over to our young disciples who lead us through the Christmas story. Thank you for being here to be a part of that. Thank you to these guys who've put in a ton of work. They've been working hard. They also have some adults who've been working hard to help them, and we're grateful for all of them. Especially, though, underneath of that, we're grateful for the story they tell and the promise of this season, and we are thankful today for the opportunity to hear it from them.
Morning, friends. So we're aware that you may not have the full announcements in your bulletin, so I'll be brief, but this is a busy season at the church, and we do want you to know that you are invited, especially if you're nearby, to join us for all of the different ways that we're celebrating this Christmas season. First of all, make note of the fact that we will be having our Christmas Eve services at 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve. You're welcome to either of those. They're the same service at different times, so you are welcome to join us for that. Also, note that if you are serving on a committee here at the church, your committee reports are coming due. We'd love to have them in the office. This Recharge is our final intergenerational gathering before Christmas. It's a Wednesday, starts at 5:30 p.m., and that event is going to be a fellowship time this week. So we would love to have you join us for that. It'll be a great time. And then also want you to be aware that the church is pleased to be able to be serving in the community, specifically families who are dealing with memory care issues. And there's a memory cafe, which is a time designated for both a person experiencing memory loss and also their caregiver. That's going to be happening on Tuesday. And if you know anyone in the community, we would love for them to be aware that that's happening. This Tuesday in the morning, they're going to be hearing from the Spirit Lake High School Choir, and it'll be a great event, and they'd love to get to see folks for that. Final note here as we make our way towards what you're actually here for is we want you to be aware that if you are planning end-of-year giving, those should be postmarked by December 30th and received by January 3rd, and electronic submissions by the 31st. All right, that's what I have. We're grateful for this opportunity to be gathered in worship, grateful to be reminded of the story that sits at the center of this season, and we begin with these orienting words.
Good morning. Fear. It's all around us and often within us. The worries and anxiety of life threaten to steal joy and hope from us and leave us afraid and small. How desperately we need to hear the promise of Christmas again. Do not be afraid, I am with you. Emmanuel, the great proclamation that we are not alone and we need not be afraid.
In a world of darkness, we look to the light. In a world of hate, we turn to the one who loves us. In a world of fear, we choose faith instead. In the light of these 3 candles, may we find a symbol and a signal that God is with us. May we find again the Christmas promise, and may it fill our hearts and calm our fears. Let the light of Jesus shine upon us, drive out the darkness, and show us the way in a difficult world. Amen.
At this time, friends, if it's comfortable, I'd invite you to stand as we join our voices together singing hymn 25, Away in the Manger. Feel free to be seated. Okay.
Verses 1 through 5 and 8 verse 12. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing that was made has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not understood it. And Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life.
For an answer, a ray of hope in a hopeless world. Who can we turn to? Where is our rescue? There is someone, he's the answer. He's the light and he'll light the way. His name is Jesus, and he came to save.
So, friends, at this time, we'd invite all of the kids who would like to be part of the children's sermon, all of our youngest disciples, make your way forward. Join Mr. Steuven for a great time with the youngest disciples.
Whew. This is scary. There's a lot of you. There's a lot of you. Can come down up front here too. Okay, I have to admit, this is a little intimidating. This morning I was supposed to do it first service, and then none of them, well, okay, there was a couple people here, but very small, so this is like our first run of this, so I hope everything goes well. I know, and I love the fact that you are all here. Will you make sure you thank your moms and dads when you're done with this, that they got you here and they took you all these practices, because this truly is amazing. So thank you all, and make sure you thank your moms and dads too. You all know what season we're in right now, correct? What season is this?
Well, no.
The season of Christmas, right? You are correct. I stand corrected. There you go. We are technically not in winter yet, are we? Not until the 21st. So spot on, you're correct. We're going to call this, though, the Christmas season. And if some of you know me, right, I often wear ties. So today's tie, does it fit the season? Okay. A little bit hard to see maybe with the cord there, but what do we got in my tie? Christmas presents, what else? Reindeer, lights, a tree. You haven't, right? Presents, lights, stars. Does this look like a happy tie? 100%, right? Would you say that in general, Christmas is a happy time? It's the best time ever, right? It is great. What are some of the great things you love about Christmas? Us. Jesus. Right to the punchline. Way to go. Giving and getting. Sometimes we enjoy that as well. Yes, all the carols, right? The beautiful carols that we get to sing. Family. Nobody said presents yet, but I guarantee you that's the first thing most of you are thinking about. Is you're looking at that tree and all that stuff, just like the tie, all those presents underneath the tree. Any of you like cookies? Yes. Woohoo! Right, all those treats. Did you get to enjoy some treats for today? You've had treats over the holiday. All the great stuff that goes with Christmas is just, it's a happy time, correct? Yeah. My question is, though, is it always happy? Do you think there are some people who maybe don't have a great Christmas? Yeah. It's kind of been sad. Here recently, there's been multiple people from our congregation who have passed away here very recently. So can you think about how sad those families are? But yet it's Christmas. They're supposed to be happy, but they have this huge loss, right? This huge sadness in their heart because they're missing people. Do you always get every Christmas present you want? Does that make you sad sometimes? Well, I think if you're being honest, yes. You had your hopes on this thing and this is what you got. You're polite. You're kind. You say, thank you. But parts of you are thinking, it's not really what I wanted. Okay? If you got your eye on that one Christmas cookie, then your brother sneaks in there before you do and takes it. Oh, man, that was what I wanted. So there's lots of things, I think, that involve Christmas that maybe don't make us quite so happy. Maybe you're not so much that way, but do you think your parents are sometimes stressed over Christmas? Can you sometimes feel that from moms and dads? All the presents they're trying to buy, things they're trying to bake, decorating the house, getting the house cleaned because you got family coming over. Do you feel those stresses a little bit too? But it's supposed to be happy, Yet there's all this stuff. We've been talking it here at church. Some of the sermons the last few weeks, we've been talking about promises. Right? So, like, we think of the promise of Christmas. I mean, the happy, the joy. One of the first Sundays of Advent, we talked about the promise of a baby. Right? I mean, that's one of the main things we think about with Christmas, is the promise of a baby Jesus. We talked about the promise of Jesus in his ancestry, all of the people that were part of history that led us to the baby Jesus. Today, Pastor talked to us at the first service about a passage from Matthew, the first chapter. We looked at the story of Joseph. You all know who Joseph is, correct? Joseph, Jesus' father. His mother was Mary, and they were dating. Let's call it that. They were dating. They were going to get married. But Joseph kind of got scared because Mary was going to have a baby, and he wasn't all sure about that. He didn't really understand the whole story yet. So he is really freaking out. It's like, do I really want to marry this person? I'll be nice and say I'm going to, but I don't. He had lots of fear over Christmas. I'm sure Mary was pretty scared as well. Yet this is supposed to be happy. They just didn't understand the whole plan. And sometimes I think we have plans as well. And when our plan doesn't always go like we want, like that one special cookie or that certain present, we get a little bit sad. So, I want you to think about that. Sometimes our plans don't always go the way they're supposed to. Things don't always quite go the way we want them to go. Our plans kind of get messed up. They get torn. Does that make you happy? Or is that going to make you pretty sad? Like I say, that present that you wanted, that gift that was supposed to be there, just isn't there. But sometimes there's things that are bigger than us. There's sometimes things that happen in our lives that, like, we can't explain it. Have no idea how this whole thing happened. Like the baby Jesus, right? We know the story now. We have some thoughts about what happened. Got to work on this here a little bit. I think it's going to work. It's kind of like my plans don't always quite go the way you hope, but whoop, lost a piece. God's plan does work. Even though your plan is completely bonkers, God's plan always happens. His promise to you is forever. You never doubt God's plan. Joseph never should have doubted God's plan, and he didn't. Mary never doubted God's plan. You should never doubt God's plan. No matter all the bad things that we think are going to happen. The baby Jesus was hunted by King Herod to be put to death. That's not a happy Christmas story. Shepherds, the lowest, the worst people in society, were the only ones who came to see the baby Jesus. He was put in a manger, in a dirty, manure-filled barn. And that's our king? Things did not go the way that God hoped, or the way they hoped, but God's plan does work. Never forget that. One of the last sentences or the passages in the scripture from today was, Emmanuel, God with us. Jesus is God with us. Never forget, you are part of God's plan. and God is always with you. Amen to that, right? For sure. Pastor Michael mentioned this morning as well that we have a contractual obligation for suckers for everybody for being here. We're going to bend that contract a little bit today. We have treat bags for you out here after the service. So it's even better than just one sucker. You get a whole bag of goodies to make your Christmas happy, right? One of those Christmas magic things, okay? So no suckers today, and we'll let you go back to your seats. But don't forget to grab a bag of goodies out there today. All right? Thank you all for being here. Yeah, thank you. Awesome. I'm glad you.
So friends, as you know, there's a beauty in our youngest disciples reminding us of the story, but the story itself is old, far, far, far older than we often think. And so we hear again of the promise that was given. This text from Isaiah chapter 9, we're reading verses 6 through 7. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness from that time on and forever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this.
Everything was ready. The moment God had been waiting for was here at last. God was coming to help his people, just like he promised in the beginning. But how would he come? What would he be like? What would he do? Mountains would have blown down, seas would have roared, trees would have clapped their hands, but the earth held its breath. As silent as snow falling, he came in, and when no one was looking in the darkness, he came.
There was a young girl who was engaged to a man named Joseph. One morning, this girl was minding her own business when suddenly a great warrior of light appeared right there in her bedroom. He was Gabriel, and he was an angel, a special messenger from heaven. When she saw the tall, shining man standing there, Mary was frightened.
You don't need to be scared, Gabriel said. God is very happy with you, Mary. You are going to have a baby, a little boy. You will call him Jesus. He is God's own son, and he is the one. He is the rescuer. But it's too wonderful, Mary said, and felt her heart beating hard. How can it be true? Is anything too wonderful for God? Gabriel asked. So Mary trusted God more than her eyes could see, and she believed. I am God's servant, she said. Whatever God says, I will do.
Sure enough, it was just as the angel had said. 9 months later, Mary was almost ready to have her baby. Now Mary and Joseph had to take a trip to Bethlehem, the town King David was from. But when they reached the little town, they found every room was full, every bed was taken.
Go away, the innkeepers told them. There is no place for you. Where would they stay? Soon Mary's baby would come. They couldn't find anywhere except an old tumble-down stable, so they stayed where the cows and donkeys and horses stayed.
And there in the stable, amongst the chickens and the donkeys and the cows, in the quiet of the night, God gave the world his wonderful gift. The baby that would change the world was born, his baby son. Mary and Joseph wrapped him up to keep him warm. They made a soft bed of straw, and used the animals feeding through as his cradle. And they gazed in the wonder at God's great gift. They wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in the manger, Mary and Joseph named him Jesus, Emmanuel, which means God has come to live with us. That same night, a bright new star suddenly appeared. Of all the stars in the dark, vaulted heavens, this one shone clear. It blazed in the night and made the other stars look pale beside it. God put there and his baby son was born, to be like a spotlight, shining on him, lighting up the darkness, showing people the way to him. You see, God was like a new daddy. He couldn't keep the good news to himself. He'd been waiting all these long years for this moment, and now he wanted to tell everyone.
So he pulled out all the stops. He sent an angel to tell Mary the good news. He put a special star in the sky to show where his boy was, and now he was going to send a big choir of angels to sing his happy song to the Lord. He's here, he's come. Go and see him, my little boy.
Now where would you send your splendid choir? To a big concert hall maybe, or a palace perhaps? God sent his to a little hillside outside of a little town in the middle of the night. He sent all those angels to sing for a raggedy old bunch of shepherds watching their sheep outside of Bethlehem.
In those days, remember, people used to laugh at shepherds and say they were smelly and called them other rude names. You see, people thought shepherds were nobodies, just scruffy old riffraff. But God must have thought shepherds were very important indeed, because they're the ones he chose to tell the good news to first.
Some shepherds were out in the open fields, warming themselves by a campfire, when suddenly the sheep darted. They were frightened by something. The olive trees rustled. What was that? They turned around. Standing in front of them was a huge warrior of light, blazing in the darkness.
I haven't come to hurt you. I've come to bring you happy news for everyone everywhere. Today in Bethlehem, God's son has been born. You can go see him. He is sleeping in a manger.
Behind the angels, they saw a strange glowing cloud, except it wasn't a cloud, and it was angels, troops and troops of angels, armed with light, and they were singing a beautiful song. Then, as quickly as they appeared, the angels left.
The shepherds stomped out their fire, left their sheep, raced down the grassy hill, through the gates of Bethlehem, down the narrow cobbled streets, through a courtyard, down some steps, past an inn, round a corner, through a hedge, until at last they reached a tumble-down stable. They caught their breath, then quietly tiptoed inside. They knelt on the dirt floor.
They had heard about this promised child, and now he was here, Heaven's Son, the maker of the stars, a baby sleeping in his mother's arms. This baby would be like that bright star shining in the sky that night, a light to light up the whole world, chasing away darkness, helping people to see. And the darker the night got, the brighter the star would shine.
So this may not have been part of your childhood Christmas program, but the wonders of technology enables our pre-confirmation class, the 6th and 7th grade, to get to tell the Christmas story in a way that's unique to them.
During the time when Jesus was born, there was a very mean king who ruled the land. His name was King Herod. Remember his name because we'll talk about him later.
Soon after Jesus was born, wise men were traveling on their camels. One night they noticed a very strange star in the sky. They knew that this star meant that the King of Jews, the one who would save the world, had been born.
When the mean king, what was his name again? Herod heard this and he got very worried.
He called a meeting with all the other important people in the area and asked them where the special baby had been born. The people replied, in Bethlehem. They knew this because they had heard that one day a special person would come from there and take care of all the people.
Then King Herod called the wise men to a secret meeting and found out from them exactly where they saw the star. He told them, "Go and find this child. As soon as you find him, tell me, so that I can go and worship him."
After they had spoken to the king, the wise men left to find the baby. They didn't know exactly where the baby was, but at night they followed the star in the east. They followed the star until it hung right over the very place where Jesus was.
When they finally had arrived, they were excited and happy. They found Jesus lying in Mary's arms, and they bowed down and worshipped him. They opened the gifts they had brought Jesus. The gifts were gold, frankincense, and myrrh. These were very expensive gifts. These were the gifts that you would give to a king, not a baby. Mary thanked them for bringing the gifts for Jesus, and the wise men went to find the place to sleep for a night.
As the wise men slept, they each had the same dream. They were not to go back and tell King Herod where they found Jesus. King Herod didn't want to find Jesus to worship him. Instead, he wanted to kill him because he was jealous that this baby would someday be better than him.
So the wise men went home another way so that Herod would not know where they had come from. They also decided that they would not tell King Herod about anything about what they had seen.
When the wise men had left, an angel appeared to Joseph in a dream. "Get up," the angel said, "take Jesus and Mary and run away to Egypt. Stay there until I come to you again, because Herod is going to search for Jesus to kill him." He also immediately got up and woke Mary. She gently picked up Jesus so he wouldn't wake from his sleep. They left in the middle of the night for Egypt so no one would see them.
They were safe in Egypt, and after King Herod died, an angel appeared to Joseph and told him he could go to a place called Nazareth, and this is where Jesus grew up.
Friends, there are many ways to give. One of the ways that we practice in church, because it reminds us of the fact that God has given every good gift to us, as we give of our finance. If you want to avail yourself of that today, you'll find an offering plate on your way out through the narthex. It's the way we remind ourselves that we give as we make our way to the world where we're called to give. And today, our youth has showed us another way to give, to use their own talents that they might show the gospel in what they do and say. And they didn't get there by themselves. They have come to this day by the others who have given of their gifts, and we would be remiss to not thank them for the ways that they've served. So, for the folks in the sound booth who are managing 1,000 things today, thank you for all of your work, the Frangenbergs. All of our musicians who have contributed, we're grateful for all of you. Thank you so much. Tom Ditzworth, who has gone out of his way to make this sanctuary prepared technically for today, we give thanks. And Megan Donnerworth, who put all of these slides together and a second bulletin for the week. We are so grateful for Megan. There are not words. And then, of course, we want to make sure to express a word of gratitude to the people who have put in the work to organize this event. And these folks aren't going to love me for asking this, but I know it would help us to thank you. So, Rochelle Guecki, Carolyn Butterworth, Brianna Horrocks, certainly Melissa Mensing, would you rise as we recognize you? Thank you. Okay. Friends, we give thanks for those who have given their gifts, because supremely we give thanks for the one who gave us his life. As we celebrate and worship, I'd invite you to stand. Let us sing together as we sing Joy to the World.
Friends, we want to thank you for being with us this morning. And I'd just ask you, maybe not now, but at some point, I want you to take a look at the list of names on the back of this morning's bulletin. That is a humbling list of names, and we are so grateful to be associated with these young people and their families, and we are blessed by them at First Presbyterian Church. And thank you for being with us as we have this moment where they get to share the gospel, the good news of Christmas with us. As a thank you, our deacons have prepared goodie bags that was mentioned. Those are in the back, and some of our other young people will be helping our younger people get them on their way out. Take those, enjoy them. Thank you for being here. Merry Christmas. And as you go from this place, may the peace and the hope and the joy and the love of Christmas and the Christmas child not only be known to you, but be known through you. The peace of Christ be with you. Carry that peace into the world.